What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Glide back with another video. Today we'll be talking about Dragon Ball Daima and just what the overall community is saying about this anime now that it's 13 episodes in. Still a lot of people, and I think generally do not appreciate or do not like Daima, and I can understand what their opinions and what their thoughts are when it comes to certain parts of this anime, but I feel like people are being a little too harsh. And to discuss this anime, I brought back a guest for the second time, back-to-back videos. I've had the same guest. You guys may have seen the last video. We talked about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero together, and today we're talking about Dragon Ball Daima. Say what's up, Dr. Love.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, so he's coming back again. We're gonna talk about some good old Dragon Ball Daima. He's probably one of the only few people that I know that like Dragon Ball, but actually still do like Dragon Ball Daima in some capacity, from what I know. So yeah, well, let them know. What do you I mean, I guess they already know if they've seen the previous video, but just in case people did not see the last video, where can they find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on youtube.com/drlove or drloveyt on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Those are two main things I'm active on. I'm trying to get more active on YouTube in terms of uploading, but if you ever want to discuss, especially Dragon Ball, like Twitter's where it's at for sure.
Yeah, if you guys want to debate and talk about Dragon Ball, anything Dragon Ball, video games, anime, he's the guy to go to. Well, yeah, I don't know, depending on your take. I don't know. I don't want you to just hound him and say some bullshit. but yeah, he'll debate anything with you Dragon Ball related. So when it comes to this video, I think I want to start. I want to know, out of 10 from what you've seen so far. How many episodes have you seen, by the way? Because there's 13.
I've seen 12.
12. Okay, 12 out of 13. So from what you've seen so far, what would you rate it?
Out of 10 overall?
Out of 10. Yeah.
I give it at least an 8. Probably like 8, 8.5.
8.5. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's pretty high. Probably a lot higher than most people that have seen Dragon Ball Daima. I'll give it a solid, for me. That I can't lie, that 13th episode brought it down for me a little bit. So I'll say out of the 13 episodes, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I give it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's still not bad. But before the 13th episode, it was an 8 for me.
Oh wow.
So yeah, still pretty high. I think we're probably one of the few people in the community that actually enjoy Dragon Ball Daima. What exactly do you think draws you to Dragon Ball Daima compared to like Dragon Ball Super, because that's what everybody compares this to,
which is crazy, to be honest with you. Like I get the comparison because that's the most recent Dragon Ball anime. Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I'm taking Daima over Super any day of the week. Ooh, especially compared
that's a hot
to
take. Ooh.
It is a hot take, but I'm gonna tell you why. I think Dragon Ball Daima, especially when the English dub comes out, for a lot of fans, myself included, even though now I'm kind of like, I can watch sub or dub, I don't really care. But I think that down the stretch, Daima will be a lot more rewatchable than Dragon Ball Super. Not just like animation reasons, but, you know, just because overall what it adds to the series, in that, based off what you and a lot of other people said about, especially episode 13, in terms of what it brings to the table besides like transformations and you know, super moves, it actually adds a lot more to the Dragon Ball world overall and the lore, which I like a lot. Dragon Ball, like the part before Dragon Ball Z, is some of my favorite Dragon Ball content like ever. Like, I love Super Saiyans and Frieza and Spirit Bombs and all that stuff, but Goku and the power pole and the Nimbus and the jokes and stuff, that's my jam right there.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
I love that stuff, bro. It's fun. I can never get enough of it. So when I saw that they were doing that again for this, but like new, I was like, I don't care that they're making him a kid again. I like Kid Goku stuff, even with GT. Like, that's one of my highlights for GT, is that they made him a kid just because I like Kid Goku. Super Saiyan 4 is cool, but personally, I mean, the execution was trash. You know,
no,
I like the premise.
But I understand where you're coming from. I'm not. Yeah. To be honest, I'm not a big GT fan, but I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna let you keep cooking.
I'm not either, bro. I tried to rewatch it a couple years ago. I couldn't do it. It was so boring. it was garbage. But you know, on paper it's cool though, and that's how I feel about Dragon Ball Super as well. On paper, I'm like, okay, you know, this is cool, but the execution, for both me personally, the anime and the manga, is just not there. Whereas with Dragon Ball Daima, I'm like, I can actually sit down and be like, okay, this is some cool stuff. And where Dragon Ball Super for me, Yeah, Dragon Ball Super was too much of a one and done for me. Like, I can't reread any of the arcs. It's not
Yeah, I get
entertaining.
what
I
you're
can't
saying.
rewatch it. Yeah, so but with Daima, I've rewatched a couple episodes already, like in its entirety. So and the dub's not even out yet. So that's why for me, I'm like down the
I get what
stretch
you're
and even
saying.
short term. Yeah, I think Daima has it.
I get what you're saying, because I feel like when it comes to Super, Daima and Super are, and this is something I'm gonna bring up as well. There are two different Dragon Ball fans.
Yeah.
Two different Dragon Ball, or there's things that Dragon Ball fans enjoy. There's two different things that Dragon Ball fans enjoy. And Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima are on the complete opposite ends. Dragon Ball Super, that is, if you want to see fights galore and pretty colors and, you know, transformations, world bending, world shatter or dimension shattering stuff, go to Dragon Ball Super. If you want to watch the lore, you know, some of the funny comedy stuff that they brought back from OG Dragon Ball, if you want to just see like just pure adventure, that is Dragon Ball Daima.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of people, which is understandable, because, you know, everybody loves to see, you know, the big gigantic fights with Jiren and Goku and Beerus, and everybody loves to see that kind of stuff. But like you said, it's kind of hard to rewatch or reread that stuff, because you know what's gonna happen. There's not a lot of like hidden gems. You know how sometimes you can go back and rewatch other anime, or rewatch or reread other manga, whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can like find things that you didn't see before.
Exactly.
Or read things that you didn't read before. Whereas Dragon Ball Super, you can go in and watch it and be like, oh, well, this is exactly how I remembered it, because there wasn't any hidden secret or hidden gem. It's pretty straightforward. Whereas Dragon Ball Daima, I can tell you right now, a lot of the stuff that they brought up as far as lore wise in this anime, I'm gonna have to rewatch it or reread or go back and find out what they said, because it's a lot of, some of the episodes they gave a lot of information, and it was a lot of interesting information. It's just I would have to go back to like completely understand where they're going with a lot of information, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. So
yeah, I'm the same way, bro, because even with Dragon Ball Super, like when it comes to the story part of it, that's one of the weakest suits of it, in my opinion. Like when Battle of Gods came out, even though that was before Dragon Ball Super, when Battle of Gods came out, it was like, okay, you know, this is cool. Resurrection F was whatever, but then, you know, the Universe 6 stuff, that was interesting until the arc ended. The Future Trunks was interesting until the arc ended. You know, the Universal Survival Tournament of Power was interesting until the arc ended. That's how I feel about Super as a whole. I hope that Daima's different, but one of my big problems with Dragon Ball Super is that there's all this build up and characters being introduced and abilities and transformations just for the arc to be over, and it's like, and then everything was back to normal.
Oh, yeah, it's like just when it was starting to get good or like juicy, then it's over, and then it's like they restart it with the next arc. Or
exactly.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't like flow into each other like how the Saiyan Saga and Namek do. Or
Yeah, You're right. You're right about that, because there's a lot of stuff like not to cut you off, but even like with Battle of the Gods, when we got the Super Saiyan God form, right? We never saw that again until the Tournament of Power. We never saw them use it again. We never saw them train with it. It kind of went from God to straight into Blue. And I'm like, what happened in between that timeline to where they could figure that out and use it efficiently? Stuff like that. I'm like, what happened in between that time? It's like they just restarted and like, oh, well, here's another new form. Oh, well, this arc's over. Oh, here's another new form.
Exactly.
Oh, this arc's over. Oh, he can turn silver now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a lot of like stuff in between that we did not get to see, or we didn't have much explanation. They just popped up with new things or new forms or new information that would have been better if there was more context.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I get why people like those type of things, like the transformations and stuff that just, even if it doesn't make any sense, it's just like, oh, okay, it looks cool. Because with me, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, I like that movie a lot. I like Beast Gohan. I like Orange Piccolo and all that stuff. But one of the biggest criticisms that I've seen a lot of people say, especially the past like year or so, is it like, oh, Dragon Ball Super Broly, not Broly, Dragon Ball Super Superhero sucks because Orange Piccolo makes no sense, and Beast Gohan makes no sense. They're trash. But then it's like they gas up Super with all these other forms and stuff. Or even if they make sense now at the time they just came out of nowhere, and it's like, yeah, I get not liking superhero but when those things are but I mean, but because when it comes to like the CGI and stuff like that, it's just like, okay, like little nitpicks, I get it. But then when people say things like, you know, oh, it's because of Beast Gohan or it's because of Orange Piccolo, it's like you're gonna discredit the whole movie because of a form,
because of that
or
form,
like yeah, or even when it comes to Daima, it's just like you're gonna discredit the whole series just because they're kids, or you're gonna discredit the whole series just because it's like not the Moro arc.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't know, it's just like that, like that's crazy. That to me, that's insane.
It's weird how some Dragon Ball fans can do that just because of one thing that they don't like. They're like, oh, the whole thing is trash. This movie, the fight was like very short, but they were focusing more on like the world building, or like just seeing what they were doing in their day-to-day lives, seeing Piccolo babysit Pan and all that kind of stuff. I actually enjoyed watching that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what Daima is in its own right.
You know what's crazy? I think that those are actually two good analogies about like Dragon Ball Super, the anime / you know, Super 2 coming back and all that, is how a lot of the fans view Dragon Ball Super Broly. And then the people that like more Daima is kind of like how it's kind of parallel to the fans are like, yeah, because with superhero, it's like, you know, some people like the CGI, some people like that it's Gohan based, some people like that there wasn't as much fighting, but it was really well choreographed, and also, you know, it was world building and characters and interactions. But then there's other fans that are just like, I just want the fights. I want the fights. I don't care what happens. I don't care who the villain is. I just want fights.
And I love Broly, but yeah, it was just fights with that one. It was But go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No, you good. I was just gonna say, like, if you take away my personal opinion, if you take away the fights for Broly, it's I mean, it's not that great of a movie overall. I enjoy the fights a lot. I like 10 out of 10 fights in my opinion. But I personally like Superhero a little bit more just because I can watch Superhero beginning all the way to the end of it and not really get bored. Whereas with Broly, like the Bardock stuff, I'm not trying to watch that.
I mean, the retcon,
the retcon with all that stuff when they're like honestly, everything leading up until when Vegeta and Broly start fighting, all of that, you can, in my personal opinion, I can just scrap it and never watch it again and I'm fine. But Superhero, I gotta like watch through all of it just
the beginning to end.
And that's how and that's how I feel about the Super series as a whole, really. And compared to Daima, I can go through like a whole episode and be like, yeah, this is cool, and still go back and watch it. Super, I'm like, I gotta skip to the fight. I'm not trying to watch
you're not trying to watch them Goku I don't know, make cabbages and then go straight. I don't know. It's you know what, like, it's weird. It's like, you know, they're about to fight at the end of this episode. Let me just skip. Because there's no like when they do have like those filler kind of episodes in Super, it's kind of a whole lot of nothing. It doesn't really. There are episodes where they do give us some good information about certain characters or what they're doing in their day-to-day, but a lot of it is very skippable and not really, it doesn't hold up, I guess.
Yeah, to be honest. And I'm gonna say one more thing here too, just like I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I've had this take ever since I read the Moro arc, like in its entirety after it first came out. I don't even think that people, especially for Granola, I don't even think that people really want the arcs themselves animated. I think they just want to wait till the fights get animated. Because whenever I see people talk about the Moro arc, like, oh, we need Moro, and then when they explain why, it's UI Goku versus Moro, or it's just Goku versus Moro. They don't talk about the stuff with Moro just being a gold, or the build-up
that leads up to
the
it.
Galactic. Nothing. It's always just a fight. Same thing with Granola. Like, oh, I want to see Black Frieza, which I do too. I want to see all that stuff animated.
I want to see Ultra Ego Vegeta. I want to
exactly. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like the arc in its entirety is quality, because it's like the fights. The when they get to the fights, it's dope. But everything in between, I'm like, you tried, but you know, that's me personally.
It didn't hit. Ooh. I'm already here. I'm already knowing if this video hits, I'm already knowing there's gonna be some people in here like, what are y'all talking about? What are you talking? What are y'all talking about? I'm already knowing.
That's facts, bro.
But I'm like, if I were to pick an arc in Super that they could have made so much better. It was good for what it was, but they just botched it at the end. I think Goku Black arc was probably my favorite arc until the end.
Yeah,
I thought that had a lot of like moving parts, and it was like you actually had to like pay attention to what was happening and all the details and how they brought everything together at the end. It's just the way it ended, I was not a fan of it, but the lead up to the fight that's the best arc to me.
Yeah, because every episode you were like on your toes, because you did. Because I remember at first, like, we didn't know who Goku Black was.
Nope.
Future Trunks coming back in itself.
You remember when we thought Goten Black?
Yeah, dude, I remember the Goten Black stuff. Gohan Black. Yeah, I remember people thought there were gonna be like different like black versions of the different characters. I remember when people were starting to piece together like, okay, the only way this makes sense if it's Zamasu is Goku Black. But then when Zamasu they were fighting him, and then Goku Black shows up, or it was vice versa.
They were like,
at the end of the episode. Yeah, people were like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, so then who is this guy?
Right.
And it was insane. Like, and then the fighting too, and Rose was honestly super dope.
That was actually a fire transformation to me, because it made sense. It's like the god form, or the Saiyan form mixed with the the god deity stuff with Zamasu and stuff. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was so dope. And then just seeing how like they honestly just could not beat them like individually, and then when they fused. And then I was just like, okay, this is getting insane. Like, I honestly don't even know how this is gonna end. But then there were so many alternative ways that they could have ended it, but they just did it the worst way possible, be honest with man.
You. I remember saying this years ago, back when it was like airing. I was like, they could have at least the fusion. They could have kept that in the back burner and brought back Goku Black and Zamasu later on. They could like defeated them. They might have taken them to like some galactic prison or something, and then brought him back later on. Because that was a good villain, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think it should have been a one-off. And that's one thing I'll hold against Dragon Ball in a way, is that sometimes they don't let certain villains just cook for a while. It's got to be one and done. Once that arc is over, they're done. Although Frieza is probably the one exception, because he keeps coming back. And I'm actually a Frieza fan, so I'm not mad at it. But they could have did the same thing, but with like Zamasu and Goku Black, in my opinion.
Dude, you're cooking, because you know what's crazy? I remember they tried to put him in the what was it, the rice cooker, whatever that thing was. They tried to seal him up, and then he just like Piccolo missed, or he forgot or something like that.
Yep, that's what it was. Yep, I wanted them to with the Mafuba. And then because it's so easy, like they could have just wrote it to where like, I don't know, somebody knocked the shit over, or somebody's like another villain stole it to free him or something. They could have easily did that, and he would have came back in an arc later or two or something like that. I would have preferred that.
Yeah, that would have been dope, honestly. Like, but it's things like that make me appreciate what Daima's doing so far a lot more than Super, because when I look back at Super, like, MUI Goku versus Jiren was cool, and Goku Black is cool and stuff. Yeah. But then when you look at a lot of the in-betweens of those arcs, or like the way they end, or just how, I guess, like the lacking of them really contributing to Dragon Ball as a whole, besides transformations and stuff, it just makes me look back and be like, there's just so much more to be desired. You know what I mean? Like, I'm liking what they could still drop the ball with Daima. They could. I'm hoping they don't.
They still could. But I hope not. But I think they're on the right track, though, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. And plus the fights that they've had so far were fire.
Every fight has been choreographed amazingly, and the animation has just been A1, honestly.
Yeah.
Crazy how nice
it's insane. I know, dude. I know. When Goku went against what was it? Why am I forgetting the names? What, the Tamagami 3, right? Was it 3?
3. Yep, Tamagami 3.
Yeah, dude, that fight was so fire.
I got it pulled up on. I don't know if you're looking at the screen, but I got it pulled up.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, this fight. Oh man,
that fight was so beautiful, man.
Oh man. Yeah. But bringing up this fight though, going back to like Dragon Ball fans, when this episode came out, I was hyped, but also kind of mad that Dragon Ball fans pretty much didn't even give Daima a chance. But once they saw this, they were like, "Oh, well, now Daima's good. Now I gotta watch it." I remember seeing people on Twitter be like, "Oh yeah, now it's good. I can go back and watch it. Let's see if I like it or not." And I'm like, you guys are those super fans that only want to see the fights.
Yeah. I mean, like, because here's the thing, like, as a Dragon Ball fan, like, I understand that people are anticipating the fights and they really want to watch them and stuff, because, like, I want to watch them too.
Yeah.
But I just didn't, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't realize there were unironically this many people that genuinely think that Dragon Ball is just fights and anything else that it has to offer is non-existent.
I didn't know either. I thought
it was a joke.
I knew people love the fights. I love the fights. We all love the fights, but I didn't realize how much people staked or weighed Dragon Ball's relevance on just fights.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm not gonna call out anyone specifically, but I remember seeing some takes on Twitter of people saying, like, as an example, you know, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F was better than Battle of Gods.
I know who you're talking about.
The only reason that they gave was because it had more fights. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I mean, on paper, I can maybe see it, but the only problem with that is one, the fights in Resurrection F were trash, and two,
it was like
everything else about Resurrection F is kind of trash compared to Battle of Gods. Like, I'm not like, I understand that you like more fights. If it was like Dragon Ball Super Broly type fights and stuff, I'm like, okay,
makes sense.
On paper I still don't agree with it, but yeah, it makes more sense. But I'm just at that point, it's just like it doesn't matter how bad the fights are. If it just has more fights, period. If you just see people punching each other, it's automatically better than.
It's automatically better. Yeah, if they punching each other's brains out. It's like, oh, this is amazing. This is a super drag. This is the most beautiful Dragon Ball episode ever or movie ever. As long as they're fighting.
It's insane. Like I understand, because I remember when Dragon Ball Super was airing, like I remember each week people would say, because there were like a lot of weird like retcons and story things going on. They're like, oh, with Dragon Ball, you just have to turn your brain off to enjoy it. And I was always just like, not really. I mean, with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, there were a lot of things that actually made sense that you had to pay attention to, and like foreshadowing and little details and stuff. And then the arcs led into each other. You had to really like pay attention and not just look at the fights to keep up with those shows. That narrative never really was a thing until Dragon Ball Super. And even with that, to an extent, even though one of my criticisms of it is like that the story and like the plot be kind of lacking. There's even stuff like the Goku Black arc where it's like, okay, you got to like keep up with things. And I don't know, it just like, I just didn't understand it was this many people. I'm hoping that it's like the loud minority, but it is kind of insane to me that
hopefully.
Yeah. Because I mean, again, I think that, you know what I think? I think that more people would be inclined to at least check out Daima if GT didn't already exist. Because I feel like a lot of people saw this and was like, oh, it's just GT2.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because the whole turning into a kid thing had already been done. So yeah, that kind of left some people with a bad taste in their mouth. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like that at first when I very first heard the news that was gonna happen. But once I heard it, I was like, well, I'll just see how I feel about it once it comes out. Like, of course everybody's gonna judge it at first, but I'm like, I'm always just see for myself first before I make any judgment on anything.
Yeah, same. And I'm glad I did, because I'm really enjoying it as a whole so far. Like, even with some of the characters like Majin, what was it, Ku or Ku that came first?
Ku.
Yeah, like like even with Majin Ku, when I first saw him, I was like, okay, what are we doing, bro? Like, like what is this?
I was like,
But then when I watched it in action, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, all right, I see. I see what the vision is, you know. Like, I think the show really does have a lot to offer, and
it has charm to it. It has a charm.
There's a lot of charm. There's a lot of charm to it. And I mean, another thing too, people complained about the animation in Super. If you want to see some really well animated Dragon Ball, you got to check out Daima. It's beautiful.
You got to.
It's so gorgeous, man.
Oh man. Like I remember when going back to Q, I remember when, like everybody, you did, I did, everybody was like, I don't know about this guy before seeing him on the screen.
Yeah.
And after seeing him fight, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. He's more like a gaggy kind of villain. And he uses in when Do came, I could tell that he's gonna be like the brains and Do's gonna be like the brawn.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually a cool idea. Because originally we all thought it was just gonna be Q or whatever. But that's not the case. I see what Toriyama had cooking up when it comes to that. And then my question now is, do you think? Because there was an instance, I don't know if I'll be able to find the exact part on here, but there was an instance where like Ku found out that he could speak to Do mentally or not? What's that? Telepathically?
Like
telepathically, yeah. And I'm like, is he gonna use that to his advantage and shit, brain fart. Use that against Dr. Arinsu or Arinsu, whatever her name is.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and they run the show and they turn on her. That's what I'm thinking.
True.
Because she doesn't know that they could do that. But
exactly. And they also got those like bug fusion things that they can do. If they fuse into a character, I got a feeling that would be nasty, bro. I got a feeling that would be so insane.
It's gonna be crazy. Yeah. It's gonna be crazy, bro. Because even I don't know if you remember or you like when Goku first got those bugs. For the fusion, it showed 3 characters. It wasn't a 2-person fusion.
Oh really? No, you're right.
Yeah, it was a 3-person fusion when they had got the bugs, and I was like, what like who, how, what, when, who's fusing? What 3 people are fusing?
Right, because 3 people's crazy. It reminds me of the game Dragon Ball Fusions, where you could fuse like 5, 6, whatever characters it was in that game.
Oh yeah. I remember Dragon Ball Fusions. Yeah, Dragon Ball Fusions was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think here it is. Dope. Here it is. I found it. All right.
Yeah, I think I saw it right there too. It showed like 3. There it is.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, 3 people. Wow.
So this will be weird because I don't know. Because we all know Goku and Vegeta was like an easy guess, but like, would that be weird to do like a fusion with Goku, Vegeta, and like Piccolo or like another race? Like, wouldn't that? I feel like that'd be weird. And then it also made me think like, what if, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know, Glorio, Supreme Kai, and what's her name? What's the other D? I don't know. I don't know if it's like you got to be the specific race to do the fusion or not. I guess it's just something we have to figure out when that time comes. But I can't think of 3 people that would make sense for the fusion.
No, yeah, because I mean maybe those 3, because even in that image right there, it looks like all 3 of those characters are like the same race or whatever, like same type of demon thing. Yeah, but I don't know if it could be any race, though. That could be insane, because in terms of the protagonist, there's already Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Glorio, and then now I'm tweaking the girl and Supreme Kai. That's 6 people right there. That's at least 2 fusions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. And then what if that's crazy, bro. Oh my gosh. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, people gotta, like, even there are things that people like about Dragon Ball Z and Super that are also in Dragon Ball Daima. It's not like as flashy right now. Right. But I'm telling you guys, even based off the fights that we've seen, I'm telling you, once they get to the nitty gritty, it's about to be
those last couple episodes,
dude.
Oh my!
I'm so excited.
It's gonna. I feel like maybe like the last 5 episodes is gonna be like back-to-back bangers.
Oh, I can't wait.
Like,
I hope so, bro.
Non-stop fights. Like, I don't know, somebody gets some crazy ability or somebody switches up and backstab somebody else. I'm already knowing it's gonna be insane.
Oh, it will. I already know it will. The way that they're setting things up, though, for sure. Like, right now, it is definitely a lot of setup.
It is.
And one more thing that I will say that I think is weird about Dragon Ball Daima that's kind of hurting not just Daima, but also other things like Sparking Zero and like other games that have the Daima characters in it. I don't know why they're taking because the first episode's out now, why they took so long to start releasing the dub when the first 3 episodes were in theaters like 1 or 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, you guys have at least 3 episodes done, but we had to wait till January, and they're releasing on a week basis, so we have to wait for the first 3 episodes to come out
when I heard that was weird. Like, yeah, like you said, the 3 episodes were already done because they were in theaters, and then just drop them 1 episode at a time after you already have 3 done is kind of insane to me.
Yeah,
I feel like they, in a way, that definitely hurt the promotion of the anime as well, because a lot of people that watched Dragon Ball watched it on dubbed, and that's you're hurting the Western fan base, because when I hear a new Dragon Ball anime is coming out, the people that aren't like in tune with the community, like, oh, I can't wait to see this, and then they find out, because there's people that will not watch sub, and they see that Daima was out, and they're like, oh, I'm not gonna watch this because I don't watch it with subtitles. So them not having that ready to go, not only day 1, but also after we know there's 3 episodes that are ready to go, and they're still like kind of breadcrumbing it, they're kind of hurting themselves. Well, they are hurting themselves. So I when it comes to Dragon Ball, I don't know, the promotion's always been iffy for everything, honestly. If you look at the history,
seemed like it was getting better with Super. Like Super was starting to get, and even with the movies and stuff, just for Daima to come out, it's like, oh, we're gonna backtrack. Like,
you're right.
I don't know.
Super did do a good job. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nah, I mean, well, because I will say that's another thing too. There are a lot of fans out there that are also just waiting for the dub to come out. Like, they're like, I don't even care that they're kids and all that type of stuff. I think it's dope, but like more Dragon Ball for me. But it's just I'm not trying to watch it in the sub, which again I can understand too. But being 12 episodes behind is tough, especially since I haven't looked into the spoilers at all with Daima, because I'm trying to just go into it fresh. But based off like the little itty bitty things that I've seen, they're definitely cooking up like some insane stuff, especially for like the climax of the series, or like the third
part of it.
Yeah, so being 12 episodes behind and being on the internet, like, I feel like people are eventually just gonna get spoiled. You know what I mean?
They will being online, and like you said, and being behind 12 episodes, there's no chance you're not gonna see something that's gonna spoil you. And I honestly, I hate spoilers. I remember
I do too. I'm not a spoiler
years
guy.
ago, I want to say maybe like early 2010s, I used to hate, well, I wouldn't say hate, I used to not really watch subtitled anime either, but it wasn't until I started getting online in the community where I was like, okay, if I don't want to get spoiled, I gotta watch sub in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And I grew accustomed to it, and now it doesn't really matter to me. I can watch sub or dub, but yeah, it's being spoiled is a huge thing for sure if you're gonna be online and seeing everybody talk about it every single episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot, I was even spoiled with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Like, literally the day I was going to watch the episode, somebody spoiled it like maybe an hour or 2 before I watched it, and I was like, wow, that sucks. But
yeah, dude, that happened with me too. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I had to mute like every single thing Daima related, like almost everything Dragon Ball related to an extent, because every single week, bro, I don't even go on Twitter like until I watch the Daima episode, but every single week, like as soon, even while the episode's airing, people are screenshotting and tweeting and doing all these.
They're not even watching it. They're just like they're just trying to be the first one out on on Twitter.
And I'm like, bro, like if it's something like Goku versus like a Tamagami, or just like showing off little things like that, it's like whatever. But when people were showing Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta like instantly, I was like, come on.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. I can't lie.
Like put like an image, like a spoiler warning over the image or something, but they're just posting screenshots like with no text or nothing, so you can't mute a picture. So it's like, okay, like I get you want to be the first and you got your likes, you want to get the little likes and
get your little couple cents from the interactions or whatever, but I feel like cause I still enjoyed it. I like the form personally, but if I did not see that, because it would have been a complete, like, I probably would have lost my mind if I would have went into that episode not knowing that was gonna happen.
Exactly, and that's part of the user experience too. Like when I saw that happened, when I watched the episode, I was sitting there kind of like stone faced, because I'm like, I know what's coming. It's cool, but it's not gonna be hype where it's like, oh, whoa, what, Super Saiyan 3? Because we never thought he was gonna get Super Saiyan 3, like ever.
Nope. I was just thinking,
Yeah.
oh, he's just gonna maybe at most maybe turn Super Saiyan 2 to beat the Tamagami, or even honestly, I thought he was just gonna lose because Toriyama hates Vegeta. So
Yeah.
the way it was looking when he was fighting him at first, I was like, oh, he's probably gonna make Vegeta lose. But no, yeah, Super Saiyan 3 was like a huge surprise, and I just wish I was not spoiled on that.
Yeah, I know.
But
yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. But people are gonna like what they're gonna like. If you're only watching Dragon Ball for the fights, and that's what you've just been accustomed to for years, I guess I can't really change your mind. But those people that are go into it with an open mind and actually are cool with enjoying and just really diving deep into like the lore of Dragon Ball, I feel like those are going to be the people that are going to enjoy this for what it is and not for what they just got done watching when it comes to Super.
No, yeah, for sure. And even still, like, I think people forget that. I mean, let's be honest too, because I'm the same way with this. When it comes to these characters and their forms and all that type of stuff, like, even if you don't like it when it's first introduced or how it looks in the anime, whatever, when it comes out in Sparking Zero, when it comes out in Xenoverse 2 and in Kakarot and all that, you guys are gonna play it and you're gonna say how dope it is. Like when Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Mini's out, it's gonna be fire. When Super Saiyan Goku and the Tamagamis and all that, and especially whatever fusions are coming, even Majin Buu. Like when I saw that Majin Buu mod for Tenkaichi 3, I was like, this is kind of
cool.
bro.
It's actually kind of cool. It's actually kind of cool.
Yep. So I think people.
There's gonna be a switch up.
Yeah, there always is. I mean, even when it came to Super when it was airing, I remember people said some of those arcs were trash, and then you talk to people now, it's like, oh,
I love this.
Best arc ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it'll be alright. It is just a little frustrating because it's just like how like the extent that people go to downplay this series every single week, but at the same time, it's like, if you want to miss out, that's on you. At the end of the day,
Yeah, they can go back to it later and be like, oh, this was actually good.
I was tweaking.
Yeah, this was actually good, and then I'll just be like, it always has been good, bro. It always has been. You just were too busy looking for something to hate instead of just enjoying it. And I feel like, and that's gonna happen. It's inevitable. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already knowing we're gonna get some Dragon Ball Super purists that are gonna come on here and hate this video. We'll probably get a lot of dislikes. And I'm gonna be honest, your take at the beginning of saying Daima is better than Super, ooh, you're gonna get some people. You're gonna get some people, bro.
I saved that take for this video. I was gonna tweet it out the other day, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna save it for the video, bro. Yeah,
people are not gonna like that.
No, they're not. I've already talked to a few friends IRL, and every single one of them disagreed, like heavy. Like they were ready to debate me on the spot, but I'm like, I'm not about to debate you, but that's my opinion. So
I'm gonna be honest.
It is what it is, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not all the way there with you. I understand why you say that. I just gotta see. I need to see the entirety of Daima. I want to see how they end it. And
that's fair.
And if they end it the way I hope they end it, I'll be right there with you.
Yes, sir.
I'll be right there with you. So,
yes, sir. I'm away on the hill, bro. I'm over here waiting.
Yeah. I'm climbing. I'm climbing right now. I'm climbing. But we gotta see it through, and then I'll be up there with you.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know what you guys think. Did you guys, agree with us on anything? Did you guys hate anything? I would love to know in the comment section down below. And I don't know what I'll be talking about next. My next video might be like Battle Hour or something, but I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace.